I'd just talk about fragrances I've worn this week, just some of the ones that I've really enjoyed and thought I'd share with you guys. So without further ado, look at Sweetie. She don't care, does she? Anyway, so what did I wear yesterday? Well, I have a new arrival, and that is this. It's called Shazam, and it's from 4,160 Tuesdays. I already had a small bottle, but that ran out about a week or two ago, and I knew that I needed to replace it because it's one that I've kind of rediscovered and fell back in love with. I used to think it was amazing, then I didn't really reach for it, maybe because I knew I didn't have much left, didn't really reach for it. And then I tried it again, and I recognised in the dry down something a little bit familiar. And actually what I recognised was there's similarities. I'm not saying it's the same, but there are similarities in the dry down to a fragrance called Iris Ganache, which I really love, and made me realise that Shazam is actually really, really amazing, because I love Iris Ganache, but it's so hard to get and so expensive. And actually this fragrance is so complex. I used to kind of describe it as more of a mulled wine, spicy Christmassy scent, and I didn't really think much more of it. But actually when you get to the dry down, you get this beautiful resins, really ambery, sticky and sweet, but not cloying, not too sweet, as well as lovely spices that lift it up and make it really kind of zingy. Oh, I just love it. So that's Shazam. That's what I wore yesterday. What else did I wear? So at work one day I wore Traversee du BOSPHORE. This is L'Artisan Parfumeur, and in a nutshell, it's a rose iris concoction. It smells very much like Turkish Delight. If you imagine some rose flavoured Turkish Delight dusted with ice and sugar, it kind of does smell quite a lot like that. It is utterly delicious and delectable. Next, another day at work, I wore Venetian Bergamot from Tom Ford. One of my favourite fragrances in my collection. Somehow manages to be fresh yet rich at the same time. It is beautiful. When you first spray it, it is like you've got a big cup of bergamot squash with loads of crushed ice. It's kind of got that almost like a cocktail feel, you know, like a mojito or something, but more of a bergamot. Bergamojito, I don't know. And then in the dry down it gets a tiny bit floral, but it's really rich. It's got loads of layers to it. Not one I could easily describe to you in terms of what notes do I actually pick out, but I have done a review. Can't remember what I said. I just know that I bloody love it, and the longevity and projection are off the scale with this one. So for a work scent, it is amazing, because I sprayed it at, it must have been, I leave for work about 7:30, so I would have sprayed it about 7:15, and on my way home I was still smelling it coming up from me without even looking for it. Or, you know, sometimes you have to do this to lift the fragrance. Didn't have to do that, it just is there. It's really, really awesome. Another day at work I wore these two together, and I got a compliment actually. So this is XERJOFF's 1861 Renaissance. That one smells a little bit like a fruit salad with some kind of vetiver and mint, but there's a richness as well. And then GORSE is very similar to Virgin Island water. I layered both together, and I was walking up the stairs. There was a lady following me who I know, but she works in another department, and I don't think she knows I'm into fragrances. She just said, "Oh, you smell really nice. What are you wearing?" So I didn't really want to say it's XERJOFF 1861 Renaissance and Laboratory Perfumes GORSE, because it's just too much. So I just said, "Oh, I've laid two very fruity, fresh fragrances together." And they smell really, really good. So that's all I'm going to talk to you about. So keep this one really nice and short, under 5 minutes. And I hope you're all well and having a good weekend. Catch you all soon.